Today, what I'd like to share is what over 240 high-performing business professional dads have done when they're short on time to still be strong stewards of their body and their health without sacrificing time for their faith, their family, or their careers. In case you don't know who I am, I'm Tyson Johnson, founder and owner of the Six Pack Dad Tribe. And the reason what's going to make today powerful is you can implement this right away today, and it requires very little additional time. It does require a little bit of intentionality, but there should be a great return on effort. So what we're sharing here is a part of the 6-step process to six-pack abs. And this falls under the first principle, which is getting your blood sugar stable. And to give just a little bit of background on this, most people know that in order to lose weight, they should eat less and exercise more. And that's common sense. But for most people, that's a woefully inadequate approach to see success. If we actually want to reach and maintain 10 to 15% body fat as an efficient, sustainable lifestyle and put on muscle, it's a more sophisticated skill set. And what it goes back to is that not all calories are created equal. Some calories will keep our blood sugar much more stable and will be filling and satisfying and nutritious. Others won't. It has nothing to do with calories in, calories out, although that is a component. One of the things that makes this pertinent for you is if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you know that you can no longer out-exercise a bad diet, okay? So what is this small and simple action item? Well, as I've shared previously, the better we can do at getting our blood sugar stable and not having this insulin spike that tends to happen for most people sun up to sundown, we will be much more successful at getting and keeping the fat off and even hitting the 10 to 15% body fat mark, which is an elite body for most professionals. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, what we need to equip ourselves with is knowledge. And what the science says is that proteins, fats, carbohydrates each affect our blood sugar differently. Okay, fats have the lowest impact on our blood sugar. We want that, okay? Protein has a medium impact, and then carbohydrates have the highest impact on blood sugar. Now, that doesn't mean that fats are good, carbs are bad, or anything like that, but it does stand to reason that the better we can do at keeping our blood sugar stable while staying full and satisfied, the more successful we will be on this journey, okay? So what we have found across myself and 240 busy professionals is that when professionals focus on getting in protein, several things, magical things start to happen. And I might add lean protein. And there's a big difference between protein and lean protein. Lean protein will actually have minimal calories or far fewer calories than high fat meats and things like that. So you get the fat off at a much faster rate. And protein is going to have a highly satiating effect. It's going to be filling and satisfying. Okay, so protein will raise blood sugar a little bit, but not nearly as much as carbohydrates. So simply by focusing on getting in more protein each day, it can have a dramatic impact on how full and satisfied you are. It can have a tremendous impact on your metabolism, and it can keep blood sugar far more stable, okay? So when we have our customers log their food in MyFitnessPal, it's a real rite of passage for many of our customers over the first month because they realize in the American diet, it is so laden with fat and carbohydrates, they realize, wow, the balance of my macros are way out of whack. I didn't realize how little of protein I was consuming compared to the fats and the carbohydrates. And so all we have them do to keep this small and simple is we say, hey, when you're going to eat, focus on increasing the amount of protein you're having at that meal and keep it lean protein, okay? And simply by making that your focus and eating that protein first, what's going to naturally start to happen over time is you will consume fewer fats and fewer carbohydrates, okay? That doesn't mean this is a high-fat keto diet. It doesn't mean this is like Atkins or anything extreme, and it's not a low-carb diet. All we're saying is focus on getting in a nice like fist size portion minimum of a good protein at every meal. And magical things will happen. Okay, so as a part of this action item, Chris is a certified personal trainer on my team. He has advanced nutrition credentials. He shared some awesome tips and protein options. And my invitation to you is try it and test me and then see if this works. See if shifting today to higher protein, keep it lean protein, do this for a week or two and weigh yourself and come back and tell me if it works or not. Signing out for now. I hope this benefits someone's life, and onward and upward.
This week, what I wanted to share with you was this infographic from the nutrition certification that I have, Precision Nutrition. They put out a lot of great content. And this infographic, it shows different protein sources and ones that we should eat more of and ones that we should eat less of. So, we obviously really promote protein as part of our program, but it's important that when we're eating high protein and we're having a high protein diet, that we make the majority of our protein high quality, because it can be very easy to fall victim to, okay, I need to eat a lot of protein, so I'm just gonna eat everything that says high protein on it, and go to the store and get a lot of protein bars and a lot of protein shakes, or if you're, let's say you're eating out, basically going for any meat and all meat. And again, that's not necessarily wrong. That can help, but again, we want to over time make sure that the majority of our protein is coming from very high quality sources. So I wanted to kind of show you this via this infographic. You see at the top here, it says most of your protein, about 80 to 90%, should come from the eat more and eat some columns. The other 10 to 20% can come from whichever column you prefer, including the eat less column. So what constitutes a high quality protein? So this is really the majority of high quality proteins are contained in the eat more and eat some category. So let me walk you through this. So eat more proteins, egg and egg whites, fish, shellfish, chicken, lean, so above 92% lean, duck, turkey, same thing, above 92% lean for turkey, lean beef above 92%, bison, lean pork above 92%, wild game, other meats. There's insects on this list. That doesn't really apply to most Americans, but other cultures eat that. Cultured cottage cheese and plain Greek yogurt. Plant-based sources that are really high quality are tempeh, tofu, edamame, beans, lentils, peas. So making these the bulk of your protein that you eat on a daily basis will be really, really helpful. And the reason being is that these are very nutritious, very healthy, right? They're lower in calorie, higher in nutrient, very minimally processed. So if you're not already including a lot of these, try to include more of them, and mix it up. If you really only have chicken, try to include more fish, try to include more eggs. That can really help with getting more nutrients in as well. Now, the eat some category is where, you'll see some foods that a lot of people include kind of as supplements. So you can see here, there's uncultured cottage cheese, there's medium lean meats, there's meat jerky, poultry sausage, minimally processed deli meat, protein powders. You can see in the plant-based categories, very similar stuff: soy yogurt, black bean burgers, plant-based protein powders. So again, these are not necessarily bad. That's not what this infographic is saying, but it's saying, these are a little bit lower quality. So eat them some of the time, but not all the time. So again, these can be included on a daily basis, but we don't want to over rely on them, and they definitely shouldn't make up the majority of our protein consumption. So again, what I see often in the program is a lot of people will include a ton of beef jerky or a ton of protein powder, making up 30, 40, 50% of their total protein intake for the day. That's not what we want. Again, we want them to be supplemental to our overall protein coming from the eat more category. And then the eat less category, this is really just includes pretty much all processed versions of protein. So you see fried foods, chicken fingers, nuggets, wings, high-fat meats, high-fat poultry, processed deli meats, processed pepperoni sticks, protein bars, high-fat sausages, high mercury fish, and then in the plant-based category, plant-based meats, plant-based protein bars. So basically, the more a food is processed, the more that's added to it. So like a fried food is it's regular chicken, but the frying process adds a ton of fat to it, and so you want to make sure that these are just the minority of your protein consumption, and if not, try to make them rare in terms of your consumption. So what I tell people in terms of fried foods is really try to limit that to no more than once per week. It's okay to have a high fat meat here and there, but again, definitely not daily. So again, this spectrum is saying, it's not saying these foods are off limits, but it's saying, eat them less often, make them more of a rare occasion that you have those foods, and then make the majority of your protein that eat more and eat some category. So hopefully this is helpful and enlightening as a good guide as to what to target for your protein consumption. And let me know if you have any questions on that. Have a great next week.